Coming up on the Angus Report, the GOP passed its tax overhaul bill just before Christmas. We talk about tax code details and how it could affect you. Drought is affecting ranchers from Montana to Arkansas, how you can better prepare for dry conditions. Then we head to Vintage Angus Ranch for a close look at this year's Angus Foundation Female. And we share the story behind the National Western Stock Show's long-standing tradition of Western ranching. This is the Angus Report. Hello and welcome to the Angus Report. I'm Bob Cervera. Our top news this week. Republican lawmakers stuck to their timeline and the GOP tax plan was signed into law before Christmas. Agriculture groups like the American Farm Bureau Federation and the National Cattlemen's Beef Association were champions of the tax reform, saying the tax breaks will benefit farmers and ranchers across the country. But what's exactly in the new tax code? Well, there are still 7 tax brackets, but tax rates are lower. The death tax exemption level was doubled, and Section 179 increased the expensing allowance to $1 million. The section previously allowed farmers and ranchers to expense $500,000 of the cost of equipment, buildings, breeding livestock, and dairy cows. The legislation created a new 20% deduction on pass-through business income, which is likely to lower producers' tax rate. Section 179, the death tax exemption level, and pass-through deductions will all sunset in 2025. Which makes it harder for farmers and ranchers to plan for the long term. Still, the tax overhaul is largely considered a win for farmers and ranchers by the agriculture stakeholders across the country. A drought has been steadily making its way across the southeast and southern plains. It stretches up into the northern plains and Montana, and its effects are showing. Forage availability is on the decline, and without precipitation in the near future, the situation will only get worse. The widespread drought forces producers to think about creating a comprehensive drought plan if one isn't already in place. Justin Derner, a rangeland scientist at USDA's Agricultural Research Service, outlines important drought plan components, common mistakes, and why a drought might actually be an opportunity for ranchers.
For a good drought plan, there needs to be several things. One, it needs to be iterative. So it needs to be a continual document that's added to and changed as conditions. It also needs to be well communicated with everybody in the entire operation. And I feel it needs to be some clear decision trigger points in that drought plan that helps with decision making when those drought periods occur. So some common mistakes when looking at a drought plan is, well, we'll deal with it when it occurs, or we'll make it up on the fly, or let's do what we did last time. And inevitably, everybody's in the same situation, saying, it's a little dry, all we need is one more rain. We get the one good rain, we'll be fine. But unfortunately, as we've seen many times repeated in history, that rain never comes. So drought can be viewed as an opportunity to make changes in the operation that one normally wouldn't do until that drought occurs. And so rather than viewing drought always as a negative, could it be that instigator? We really needed to make that change in this drought pushed us to make that change, and now we've benefited from that. So it's really an opportunity event that can be utilized in the decision making for the entire ranch and the operation.
Derner encourages producers to use tools such as the U.S. Drought Monitor and seasonal predictors. You can take a proactive approach and prepare accordingly when drought conditions are predicted for your region. Ranching has always been a family affair, and one of the first chores ranch kids have is feeding the bottle calves. A recent invention by an Oklahoma family makes it easier for ranch kids to help out and learn the responsibility of caring for their cattle. Ronnie and Mandy Painter raised cattle near Panama, Oklahoma with their daughter Oakley, and when Oakley was first starting to help, she wasn't strong enough to hold the full weight of the bottle with an active calf. So her mother came up with the Knottle, a plastic attachment with side handles that fits over the bottle. The family opened a Kickstarter campaign to raise money for their idea. Their patent is pending, and prototypes have been tested by their own family. The Knottle could arrive on your doorstep as early as April this year. Increasing production efficiency through reproductive management is one way producers can improve their operations' bottom line. We caught up with Rick Funston from the University of Nebraska at the 2017 Angus Convention in Fort Worth. He talks about the importance of early conception in your breeding season and the role that synchronization can play.
Not only reproduction, but time of breeding or conception in the breeding season has a huge impact on the progeny, both the steers and heifers. So we talked about management practices to try to increase that, because that sets up a heifer for life, and it also sets up profitability of a ranch with a fixed set of resources. So my recommendation is to develop her on a moderate level of growth, and develop her in an environment that she's going to be expected to exist on once she's has a calf. I recommend exposing more females for a short period of time and only keeping ones that become pregnant early. So what we've done with Natural Service is turn the bulls in, and then 5 days later give everything a shot of prostaglandin. If there's a high likelihood that females aren't cycling, maybe a wet 2-year-old or something, then I think we need to use CEDAR, a progesterone-containing device.
Celebrating its 11th anniversary this year, the Beef Leaders Institute, or BLI, takes 20 participants on a complete pasture-to-plate beef industry tour. BLI is hosted by the American Angus Association, and it's funded by the Angus Foundation. It allows young leaders in the cattle industry to explore quality Angus genetics, performance programs, genomic technology, herd health, the certified Angus beef brand, and much more. The 2018 BLI is scheduled for June 18th to the 22nd. During the 3-day course, participants stop at a feed yard, a packing plant, the Neogen GeneSeek headquarters, and the certified Angus beef offices to give participants an in-depth look at where their cattle go after they leave a farm or ranch. Young producers, ages 25 to 45, are encouraged to apply for the BLI program by February 15th for their chance to attend. Visit angusfoundation.org for more information. When we return, Iowa cattle feeder Ed Greiman talks about challenges and opportunities with price discovery. Then we head to Modesto, California, home of Vintage Angus Ranch, for a look at this year's Angus Foundation Female. Visit angus.media to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
Deciding whether to buy new or used. Get in that part today, not tomorrow. Making the most of every load and every hour. The right math to make the financing work. No matter what your size, growing your operation isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. And with the right support close by, it all adds up. Your work is personal to you. As your cat dealer, we feel the same.
Get 0% for 60 months on compact equipment, now with a standard 2-year warranty.
Preferred's line of squeeze chutes and sweeps are easy on the cow, easy on the cowboy. Preferred chutes offer the easiest operating head gate on the market with locks guaranteed for life. They also feature an emergency side exit with lever return, removable bottom access panels, contoured drop sides, and the easiest side adjustment in the industry. If you're in the market for products for your farm, ranch, or rodeo, give the good folks at Preferred a call. Preferred, America's #1 name in farm, ranch, and rodeo.
A favorite time of the year is calving season, but along with that special time are dangers, extra stress, and increased labor. Safety Zone Calf Catchers is all about safety and making processing new calves easier. Designed for ATVs or UTVs, one person can do the job and never be threatened by the protective mother cow. Make this and every calving season safer and easier with Safety Zone Calf Catchers. Watch videos and customer testimonials or order yours today at safetyzonecalfcatchers.com. Immediate shipping available.
Out here, we begin each new day the same way, by saddling up and heading out to interrogate some of the world's toughest secret keepers. They're never gonna tell us that they don't feel right, and that's one secret we just can't afford to have between us. I know when we find them, we can fix them, because if there's one thing better than having a secret, it's having a secret weapon. It's a Prevo.
How many genomic profile tests have been designed specifically for Angus cattle?
There's only one profile created specifically for Angus cattle, and that's Angus GS. Created at Angus Genetics, it's based purely on Angus DNA. Angus GS will have better predictability and deliver more power and accuracy than any previous genomic profile ever. And I know because I designed it that way.
For Angus, by Angus. Angus GS.